If you're a music producer using FL Studio, you know how good it is.
Ableton is better.
But there are so many hidden features and settings that actually make a difference in workflow and quality. It took me some time to discover them, but now they are crucial when I'm producing, so don't wait more and let's start with this. Let's say we have this. If we cut, for example, the sample, there is no problem. Of course, it stops sounding. But what happens if we want to cut a pattern? For example, let's cut the wrist bass. It keeps playing until the next note. It doesn't matter where I do this cut, that it's always gonna play the entire note. To solve this, go to Options, Project General Settings, go to this Advanced tab and click on Play Truncated Notes in Clips. Now if you play this, no matter where we have the cut, it gets muted where I have the cut and not later. And now both things, the patterns and the samples, get muted where they should. The second thing is so useful for me, especially when I make build-ups. I have this build-up right here. If we look at the snares, we can see that they go faster in every bar, and the faster they go, the closer is each snare to the next one. In the fastest moment, as you can see, half of the first snare is playing on top of the other ones, and this happens with all of them. And for the snare, this is not a big problem, but what happens if we have kicks? If I have a kick doing the same as the snare, the problem right now is that when they start touching each other, the bass will start to get boosted, and also the attack of each kick is not gonna be clean because you're gonna have parts of different kicks on top interfering and masking. We can take this kick, make it shorter, maybe a bit of fade out so we avoid the click, and then just start repeating this so this way the kicks don't touch each other. But there is a faster way to do it that not a lot of people know. Just double click the sample to open it, go here and click on cut itself. What this will do is mute it when there's a new instance of the same sample. So when this kick plays, this one that is interfering and also this one that is also touching here, both will get muted. Focus on the low end without and with this. The low end is a lot cleaner and the tags are a lot more clear. The third setting is for when your projects are super big, you have a lot of synth, all the mixer channels are used, you have a lot of plugins and the project just crashes, you cannot listen to it properly. Let's go to Options, Audio Settings, and the first thing you want to do is to change the device for any ASIO driver. I recommend you to use the FL Studio ASIO. And now you need to change the buffer length. How much you need? Well, if you don't want any problems, just go to 2048. But this will add a lot of latency, so my advice is to have it as small as possible without crashing. In my particular case, I usually have it at 384, but as this project is already finished and is super full, I need to have it at 1024. And now, no problems. But also, if you're gonna use a MIDI keyboard or you're gonna record vocals, you need to have it as small as possible. This way, when you press a key, it automatically sounds. If you have a buffer length too big, when you play, you're gonna have to wait maybe 1 second or 2 until you hear it, and that's super annoying. So my advice is to work with the smallest one possible, and when the project is already too big, maybe increase it, and then if you want to play with the MIDI keyboard, record something, come back, and just change the buffer length when you need it. The next one, for me, is crucial. I cannot produce without this at all. Probably when you are in the piano roll and you press any letter of the keyboard, it sounds something. Or if you have a sample selected, you play with different pitch. You can have it like this, but you don't know what you're missing. I'm going to disable this by clicking here. And now when I press the letters of the keyboard, each letter is a different setting. If I want to cut the wrist bass, I need to go here, cut it. Now I want to silence, I need to go here, silence, and I want to click on the paint and delete this. Now I want the brush, click on the snare, and do this. This is super slow. Now I can click the C to cut, the T is the silence, the P is the paint, or the B is the brush. Have you seen how fast I did this? And this also works in the piano roll. For example, I can do something like this really fast, like do it like this and boom, you know, and now I mute this and this. I mean, it's 10 times faster. And last but not least, something to make sure that FL Studio uses all the power of your CPU. Let's open Serum for this. You have to click here, go here, processing, and activate the allow threaded processing. This will make sure that Serum uses all the cores of your CPU if it's needed. Also, you can go to options, audio settings, and on the CPU activate this too, so the entire FL Studio uses all the cores. And as an extra tip, if you activate the smart disable here, and on Serum you come back here and activate the allow smart disable, you make sure that FL Studio disables the VSTs and plugins when they are not needed, so this way they don't use CPU. Now you know 5 crucial FL Studio settings for better workflow and performance. Go and make some music.